Hey, I'm Cheryl Locke with Off the Jacks, and I am back again with Keith Sheffield and his garage built rat rod. So, Keith, you're pretty much done with it. It is running now.
Yeah, they're never really done, I don't think, especially in the rat rod world. But it is done. It's drivable. It's street legal. It'll move under its own power. So it's there. It's there. It's been a long road, but it's there.
I was going to say it always takes longer than you think it's going to, and you've come across things. So, let's start off for anybody that hasn't seen the other videos. Tell us what kind of engine you've got in here.
So it's an '06 LS out of a Chevy trucks, Camaros, Vets. All of them have the LS. It's an iron block. It's all been gone through. Little higher compression, bigger cam, and then custom tuning, which is a huge learning curve because I'm doing that myself. But I love the computer stuff and I love the electronics, so I'm going through the tuning and learning, and actually I'm signing up for a school out in Florida to for HP tuners to learn how to use their software to actually tune it to get the maximum I can out of
So
it.
it's all, you programmed it all through the computer.
Yes. It's you hook it up to the laptop, and it's got the factory computer in it that controls the engine, all the timing, fuel, and everything. And you can get in there just like their engineers can, and you can see exactly what their engineers see. And you can change all their fuel curves and all the tables and different different outside temperatures and different different aspects of day-to-day running. You tell it what you want it to do when it sees a certain condition, which is half throttle, full throttle, at operating temperature, real cold, and it kind of self-adjusts. You have to tell it where you want it to start, and it'll tweak a little bit, but you have to be able to tell it where to start.
And I love computers, but boy, that sounds like something over my head. So you still have to be a mechanic, not just a computer whiz.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, this was kind of that was my forte. Even when I was working for Chrysler, I did all their computer and electronic stuff, and so it's always been my thing. And now this is just diving even deeper into it, not just one little problem, but actually looking at how do they make these things run, because it's not a carburetor, that you can adjust a couple of screws. And the old school guys, they could listen to a car and adjust idle and mixture and all that stuff, and know how to get that car running very well and pretty much to its max efficiency. Whereas with the computer, I mean, it's like anything else. I can get it absolutely to its max and then push it past it, and then realize that that's not working and bring it back just a little bit, and have the numbers and the data right there in front of me to say, yep, it's where it needs to be.
And when we both were younger, yeah, our dads went out there, or our local mechanics, and that's all they did. They just had a screwdriver, some duct tape, maybe baling wire, and got things fixed.
Yep.
And so now it's went into more, your automotive guys are now pretty much geeks.
Yeah. All the tuners, it's super smart people. They're it's just a different ball game. It's a different world. It's just sign of the times.
Hey, I'm all for it. I figure, it's got to be something going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your transmission,
It's a 4L60E. So the whole engine it's a 5.3 liter, which is it's a Generation 3 small block Chevy. Small block Chevys were the same forever, like 50s, early 50s, all the way up through, I'm probably wrong and you're going to get all kinds of comments on it, but it's, up through the 80s into the 90s. And then they switched to Generation 2, which was very short-lived because it didn't work. They went back and came up with this, which is the third generation small block Chevy. Transmission-wise, they used a turbo 350, turbo 400, and a 700 R4 forever. And now this is its electronic, brother or sister. It's a 4L60E. It's an all electronic transmission. So I can get in it with the laptop. I can tell it I want it to shift harder, faster. I want it to hold its RPM longer and shift at a different time. I can tell it don't shift at all. So it's all electronic and just like the engine, it's today's,
And how hard is it to get the engine, the transmission, and both the programs? Are they automatically put together so they complement each other? Do you have to watch?
No, they're in the same computer, but they're pretty separate. I mean, you can adjust anything on the engine, and it really won't affect the transmission. And
maybe in the car whiz I figure I need to ask because
No, you can adjust them separately, and it's going to take its input and do what it's told to do with it. Just like the engine, it's going to do what it's told to do. So it's just cool, different world. To hang in there and get in there and tweak it a little bit, and then go drive it and see what it does. And it might cough and backfire. It might shift too hard, and
or it might be stranded along the side of the road.
That too, but you don't take tools, you take a laptop to fix it. So
you can adjust this on the go.
Absolutely, anywhere. So
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You think of all the guys that ride around in if you've ever known a Harley rider, they need a truck to follow them for their tools.
Sure.
And I know a lot of the old cars, the rat rods, they have toolboxes.
Yeah.
So you're going to be one of those that you're going to pull up, and instead of getting out your toolbox, if it's not running right,
and get out a tablet or a laptop and plug it directly into the computer and talk to it, see what, if it's, depending on what it's doing, you kind of know where to look, and you can look at it and say, oh, there it is. And you still have to have minimal tools if you still have the same mechanical stuff. You have pistons, you have camshafts and spark plugs, and it's all just being told to do it electronically instead of manually.
See, I don't know. I just find that fascinating. This wasn't even where I was going, but now I'm like, oh my God, it's geek stuff.
Some people even keep their tablet just sitting on the dash because you can read gauges. You can set it up where all the gauges are in the tablet, and you can drive it and use that as your speedometer, tachometer, engine coolant temp, oil pressure, all that stuff, and you can see what the engine's doing, and so it's kind of cool.
So see, now I'm going to be waiting until Keith gets this out one day, and then I'm going to be like, hook this bad boy up and show me. I won't know what he's talking about, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
So as far as the body, tell us again what you started with as far as the body.
So it started out as a 1946 Ford F1 pickup truck, just a half-ton flathead. And it again, because I do the electrical and I do the LS swap stuff, harnesses for customers and everything. I decided to go ahead and put an LS in it. I know it's a huge no-no to, I get a bunch of crap for putting a small block Chevy in my Ford pickup, but this is kind of my calling card, and so people want to see it or they want to understand about it, we can look at it and I can say, well, here's what we do here, and here, and so it's
this can kind of, like you said, a calling card, because it is what you do. And I know a lot of the rat rods, this isn't what someone's expecting to see necessarily. So I think it'll be interesting. When we were at the show down in Boulder City last weekend, Paul had his rat rod out there and has the big, the scoop on it. Mm-hmm. We put a GoPro in it to watch people come up and checking out the car. And so it'll be interesting. I'm sure you will get a wide variety of comments about this, but you'll have a chance then to educate them.
Yeah, I mean, rat rods, they want to see different, and an old 46 pickup rat rod with a brand new computerized engine in it, that's pretty different. So,
and a lot of guys, if they were going to do that, would have put a hood over it so nobody would know. But you're brave.
I'm brave.
Yeah, bring it on.
I could care less what anybody thinks. So.
And since we were here last, I see you've got the turn signals, the lights on.
Yep.
You've got the windshield put in.
Yep. We got front and rear window in it. We got all the lighting's done, all the electrical's done. It all works. You know.
Not going to get pulled over?
No, shouldn't. Unless I'm going too fast.
How hard is it to license something like this in the state of Nevada?
You
can use bad words.
It depends on how you do it. That's a whole, whole can as far as licensing them. I was fortunate enough to see that I was going to do something like this. So when I originally bought the 46, it wasn't running. I took it to the DMV. Because I bought it out of California, they have to do a VIN verification. I took it on a trailer down to the DMV. They checked the numbers. Yep, it's a 46. So they titled it as a 1946 pickup, which is what it is. It was probably 2 days after I titled it, I tore it apart. And the only thing that's still a 46 is this cab and these doors. This grill came off of a 48 Mack truck that I bought from a guy out in New Jersey. And the engine obviously came from an '06, and there's no emission standard. They don't emissions test the 46s or anything that old. So I licensed it, then made all my changes, and now I just got to license it every year, and it'll be happy. I mean, the VIN, I can stamp the VIN in the frame like what it originally was.
And I know a lot of states, whenever I put the rat rods on YouTube, a lot of people from the Northeast, they're like, we never see a rat rod on the street, and it's because a lot of the licensing and insurances. So
yep.
Nevada, we happen to have here in Las Vegas a lot of rat rods, a lot.
Yeah.
And it could be because you are able to license them.
And drive them, we drive most of these cars with wide open headers and wide open exhaust, and we don't ever get hassled. Maybe some douche bicycle cop down on the strip might try to say something, but it's we have enough. We've asked, and it's all good. So
and we know some people that have been hassled with their hot rods by bicycle cops. And,
yes.
And I just want to put this out there that if you were driving a hot rod and a bicycle cop pulls up next to you and rides along next to you complaining about your car, telling you to pull over, I question whether that's a hot rod.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the interior, you also have all the interior. You've got your new seats in, so your butt's comfortable.
Yep.
You've got your gauges going in there also, even though you could do them through a tablet.
Yeah. No, I put gauges in there just because that's I like the looks of it, and I mean the interior, all it is a seat and gauges, so there's not really much there, But like I said, everything's always changing, so we might put some kind of cool headliner in it or something on the floor, just constantly changing.
And now, right now, it has no what I would call decorations or Do you have a plan for that yet, or are you just, once it gets rolling, you're going to just see what you come up with?
Yeah, now that it's rolling, now is when you start doing that, that stuff.
The more cosmetic.
Some spikes and just cool stuff, just little trinkets. I want to get the Mac Bulldog for the hood ornament, and we're looking at maybe some cab lights or just little stuff like that. We're already talking about maybe taking the bed off and going to a flatbed or changing the wheels. I already don't like the brand new wheels and tires. So got a set of wheels and tires for a Mustang for sale. But it's always changing. It's always changing, and that's the cool part about it.
That's the cool thing with the rat rods is, when you have a classic, you either low rider them or you keep them extremely classic, a little bit of customization, then you have the guys that just chop and beat them up, but they get yelled at. But with a rat rod, there are no rules.
None. If I wanted to weld a giant shark fin right here, right now, I could, buzz it down with the sandpaper and weld right to it and paint it right back up, and I'd have a shark fin on it.
Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, that's the rat rod with the shark fin.
Yep.
So let's go and we're going to go look at the back end and the bed that's on it now, which may not be for long. So we'll take a look at what he's done back there. Okay, so now we are looking at the back end here where you did something a little unique by putting the radiator back here.
Yeah, again, I wanted to be different. I wanted to use the bigger truck radiator because, you know, we're out here in the desert and I wanted it to stay cool. So we put the radiator in the rear with the two double, you know, big 18-inch fans on it. And now that it's running and driving, it gets up to about 185 and the fans kick on and it stays at 185. It doesn't budge from 185. And you know, I didn't want to be the guy pulled over on the side of the strip or wherever we're at with my car overheating. So
yeah, because the strip cruises, and especially in the summer, just going anywhere out here, because we get 110 degrees easy, and that really causes some problems for those guys.
Yep.
So you're not worried about overheating, obviously. I mean, this is hefty.
Yeah. No, it's staying cool. It's flowing plenty of water, and it's happy. So that makes me happy.
I was going to say, as long as you're not having to hitchhike, you're good.
Exactly.
And now you've got your fuel tank back here, and you're trying to decide what to do with the bed. So tell us kind of what may or may not happen back here.
Right now, it's, you know, now that it's done and I've been able to pull it out and look at it and starting to think about, you know, the wheels and tires. Maybe they're too small, or I need bigger. Do I need smaller? Do I want to stay with the bed sides, or do I want to go to just a flat bed back here in the back section? Like I said, it's always changing. So, you know, you may or may not see this bed on it in the next couple of days. You may or may not see these wheels on it in a couple of days. But, you know, so originally we were going to go with this bed and just do like a barnwood, you know, floor just up to the radiator that pivots up so that I can put fuel in it from back there. So we're just always playing with it.
And now I like the sides on it, the wheels. Well, we'll talk about those off camera because I'm with you on that. I'm not sure about those.
They might go with Paul's wing.
There you go. They do kind of have that Toyota look, you know, that kid car Toyota look.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Maybe we can make a sign on her, a little Toyota Tercel out of these wheels and his wing.
There you go. Poor Paul.
There you go, Paul.
Yeah, and you're still not putting a wing on this, right?
No wings. Not yet.
Thank God. And your pipes you put on here, you said these you're going to rust up so they kind of match?
Yeah, we're going to, there's a solution you can make that, you know, you can look it up online and spray it on there, and it rusts within minutes of being applied, and then you wash it off, and it stops, and it just stays rusted. Just so it don't look so new and dumb.
Yeah, but you could let it go naturally.
That just takes longer.
Well, yeah.
I'm an impatient person.
So, when do you think you're going to have it at the first show?
Well, we were talking about Wednesday night. We were talking about going to a little run, but I'm thinking, I mean, it's ready now. I could drive it right now, but I'm thinking Friday we might find something to do. Maybe Sunday, me and a couple of people might just get out and cruise around.
Take it for a good test drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. And we're getting ready. We're going to take this out so that you can let us know what it sounds like. And when you started it here earlier, it sounds good.
Yeah. It's got a pretty decent cam in it with a lot of overlaps, so it rumbles and it shakes and it gets in a rhythm sometimes where the whole car's shaking and you know you're bouncing, but that's doing exactly what I wanted it to do.
And that's part, to me, if your car isn't loud, then it's not really a car.
Sure.
It's not one to take out.
Yeah.
And I like when you guys have the rat rods and we're doing videos because I know you guys are blocks away, at least with Paul and David, and I can hear you guys coming and know to get ready. So this will just add to it. So from now on, when the Bone Shakers do a cruise, we're going to have a little bonus noise in there.
There you go. Yeah, just one more wide open car to add to the obnoxiousness.
Hey, I like it. And that's all that counts whenever I'm out there. Anybody else's opinion doesn't matter.
Nope.
So, okay, we'll take it outside. We'll let you see or hear what it sounds like. And you'll also get a good look at these wheels.
Don't be dogging on my wheels. They're being changed.
And you know what? Until these wheels are changed, I'm going to be dogging on you. No, you're fine. I think he's going to go around.